Hello everyone, I'm Ramina Pollard, climate activist, and today we'll be having a climate quiz which will be taking 6 seconds for you to answer. If you get it wrong, you get to take chili. If you answer it right, take banana or orange. And this is also trying to amplify the campaign Food at Core. Okay, on my left you have
Bernard Hills,
Michelle. On my right,
Ibrahim Abadza and Wallace.
So this is Kisumu Environmental Champions. Woo!
Hello. What is the effect of global warming to wildlife? The effect. So this is how it is. So effect of global warming to wildlife. So come up with global warming. If it's global warming, can you use English or the same grammar?
Either.
Okay, so like global warming will bring about high temperature, and high temperature will bring about drought. So they will not get water to sustain them.
And they will die.
And they will die. Two,
due to
high temperature period, it brings about drought whereby it will interfere with the growth of the plant.
Yeah.
So it's you next.
It's me next.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. What is the only advantage that you get from global warming? The only advantage is that with global warming, there is the high sea level rise, and that means for the places that are usually having drought and they have like a lake, there'll be more water for irrigation. Take a banana.
Oh yeah, I forgot to take my banana.
Differentiate between kitchen gardening and estate farming. So basically, a trial first. Kitchen gardening is trying to put a small garden or a small farm behind your kitchen or your houses, where you try to put the waste materials from your food or from something like that. Unajaribu kuweka remains of food kwa garden yako, which will help as a manure. Then estate farming, it is large scale farming, something of that sort.
That's a trial, but okay. We'll spare you for that. We'll spare you for that. Then
discuss the effects of garbage dumping in urban centers. Okay, in urban centers, you find this is where we have a great population, and when garbage dumping, it necessarily comes about when in estates where people live. So when we dump garbages, our places of where we stay will be congested, and through this, when maybe it rains and the water will come and carry maybe the garbages, and this will in turn affect as we live in our areas, because it may bring about diseases, and it pollutes the environment, actually, air pollution, and which is not good for our health. That's why I think effects of garbage dumping in urban centers may cause.
how is garbage dumping a form of land pollution? For instance, irresponsible dusting the residents. So garbage dumping is a form of land pollution because it makes the environment dirty, which can affect the humans.
Okay. Nani umetoka hivyo? Okay. Okay, then let me answer that. How is garbage dumping a form of land pollution? So when garbage is dumped, like let's say for example, in a city, there's somewhere that the garbages that are collected, they're being dumped over there. So these waste, such as waste plastics, gets to hover inside the soil, then they end up in our lakes due to the water sources. Their transportation through the water sources. That means it will go back to our rivers, our swamps, and our lakes. That will make the aquatic life to be choked. Then plus our water ecosystems will be poisoned.
Next question. Explain how clearing of forests and cutting down of trees contribute to global warming. So first of all, when you cut down trees, you know very well trees use they use carbon dioxide as a raw material for photosynthesis, right? And you know very well carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So when you clear trees, it means that the volume of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will not reduce. These are not the clearing of trees whereby they will not be used for photosynthesis. So when you cut trees, carbon dioxide will accumulate in the atmosphere, which will contribute to global warming. Clear?
Yeah. Okay, how does industrialization bring about climate change? How does industrialization bring about climate change? Well, first of all, we can speak on examples like industries such as the fossil fuel industry. So while they burn the fossil fuels, that means that the global greenhouse gases will be emitted into the air. So that means that this will add gases such as carbon, which is very much effective but to the ecosystem, and that means once they're in the atmosphere, it will lead to global warming, and in turn will lead to climate change. Without decarbonizing, that means that there'll be more effects of climate change within this period up to 2030 unless we change our ways and become some of trying to discourage most of the industries to stop emitting too much and try to decarbonize and work with the local grassroots to do that. Yeah. So what should I take? A banana? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, banana zimeisha.
Next.
Distinguish between a national park and a game reserve. So basically, a national park, for instance, is where animals and animals basically are found and they're kept there for people to be able to visit them and learn more about them. While a game reserve is where endangered species of animals are stored and they are given treatment and basically it's like their home for those endangered species.
No, that's not correct. It's said that a game reserve is a place where endangered species are kept. That's a definition for a sanctuary, a game sanctuary. And the definition is given as about national park It's generally all about national park and game reserve.
So you're trying to mean national park and a game reserve are the same, more or
They're not the
less.
same, but it can be distinguished.
Right, take a bite.
Yeah.
Go. Let me try. Distinguish between a national park and a game reserve. A national park, I'll start with the kilometers or the ukubwa. To make Swahili. A national park is bigger than a game reserve first of all, and a national park is where we kill bigger animals like the rhinos, the endangered species, and for a game reserve, it's much smaller. So here I won't find so many animals. That's what I guess I can really try to put out. What is it, Ramina? Or have I tried?
So
Let's say the general differentiation.
Okay, tell us then.
Okay, we'll take up Pilipili first.
Yeah.
So it goes to the one next until it switches me to maybe I can say the correct answer.
Hey,
What's it again?
when they come apart.
Hakuna vile tunaweza kata hiyo orange.
Beyond. You can try distinguishing between
I think we can just take another one, then going towards the same question.
Okay, let me say a national park. Okay, let me give this simple difference. National park is controlled by a national government, while the game reserve is controlled by a county government. A national park, grazing is restricted, while game reserve grazing is not restricted. Then it's simple like that. So yeah.
And then we'll go next. Just pick one.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Explain 2 ways in which global warming affects our livestock. So, as we all know, global warming, it affects most of our livestock in that, for example, when this scenario occurs to our livestock, maybe for example, the issue of acid rains, it can go and affect for example, the livestock feeds, i.e. or e.g. How do we call them? Haze, you know haze, you know hay. Yeah, for example, so the production of hay might be low due to acid rain, in that the rain is going to affect the hay in such a way that I bet you will know. So yeah, then that is going to hinder the production of livestock feeds. Understand my point?
Yes, so you talked about acid rain. How is acid rain what about?
In general, we're talking about global warming. So, thank you very much.
Explain 3 consequences of global warming. So, global warming, first of all, brings about high temperature in the atmosphere, whereby this excess high temperature could be under ultraviolet rays, which could bring about skin cancer. That's 1. 2, it can bring about abnormal growth of plants because there will be too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which will bring, whereby they will be able to consume the too much carbon dioxide in their photosynthesis, so but they will grow abnormally. That's 2. 3, there will be high rainfall in some areas because when there's high temperature, there will be high rate of evaporation. So that will bring about convectional rainfall or relief rainfall.
Yeah. Okay, can you take your orange? Discuss how people achieve water pollution. Like the causes of water pollution. First, there is poor waste management by the locals. They don't have they might not have the knowledge on how to dispose their waste well, so by that they tend to ignore and just dump the waste anyhow. Then another thing is from industries, like oil industries. Some of the, at times when they transport the oil, it gets to leak, and when they're living next to a water body, and that means while they're leaking, it gets there indirectly. About that, there's also some things such as there's such as spillage. Like, let's say there's some places that had the spillage of oil, so by that it just reaches inside the water bodies. Like, I don't remember the place, but I think it was last year and it was said in the news. Another thing about water pollution, you see, like these other companies which are producing plastics, most of them don't inform their consumers, and you find that they allocated, yes, some recycling bins, but they haven't yet given that much of the recycling bins, so at the end it gets to pollute the water. There's some of the communities who have businesses, like let's say businesses that involves things like oil, or even things like for instance some substances such as chemicals, which instead, while they are pouring it outside, they prefer pouring it inside the water because no one will try to complain about it. So I think that is also one of the causes of water pollution.
Wow.
Discuss 3 human activities that contribute to global warming. One is farming. Yeah, people have now cut trees so that they can practice gardening. That is one human activity. Number 2 is this improper disposal of waste. For instance, people using diapers, they tend to throw their diapers anywhere, so that they throw their diapers anywhere, that is leading to blocking of water bodies, which will then lead to global warming. The third one, can I say cutting of trees? Is this the same to gardening?
That one is different.
Yeah, so people cut trees, and as we all know, cutting of trees leads to deforestation, and when we don't have trees, it will lead to lack of water, which is drought, and drought is like an influence from global warming.
Yeah, your 2 answers were correct except for one about the pampas. That one maybe is about the water pollution, but not global warming. Just to add about global warming, when you speak about farming, there's different types of farming. Like, there's someone who can use organic manure or fertilizers. So once they use fertilizers, the chemicals that are inside, that the gases too. So we've come to the end of the quiz. Some people ate chili, some ate fruits. Yeah, so you can just go and check it out on our YouTube channel.
You can follow Instagram, Swimming Environmental Champions.
Yeah, everywhere, Swimming Environmental
Champions. Every platform, the description up.
Yeah. And don't forget to support the campaign. Food at Co-op, our plants, our culture.